Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
6:07 in the morning. Zach and I are dancing along with our theme music. We love it. We sample it sometimes, we put new kind of words to it.
Yes, we remix it.
Yeah, that's what Zach does. He's a remix kind of guy. Anyway, 6:07, 39 degrees. Temperature moving all the way up today to 39 degrees. That's ironical, by the way I said that, because it's not moving anywhere. And if you know what movie Ironical is from, let me know. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com. You can join our conversation at 732-505-1160. And our conversation now in studio, bright and early on a Monday morning, Vicky Weiss, court-appointed special advocates, CASA. Good morning, Vic.
Good morning, Jeremy.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Somehow I knew I was going to get here and still laugh this morning.
Oh, listen, we do our best because, we have to laugh. It's 6:08 now in the morning, and, we're, Zach and I are an hour into our day, and we laugh because it's funny. So court-appointed special advocates, Vicky, tell us, what is that all about? What does your organization do? I don't think a lot of folks probably listening don't understand. So go ahead.
Absolutely. So court-appointed special advocates is the acronym. We are known as CASA. And we exist to recruit and train and supervise everyday concerned citizens to become advocates for children that have been abused and neglected, removed from their homes, and now living in foster care. There's over close to 750 kids just in Ocean County living in foster care right now.
Wow. So what are the mechanics? I mean, what does it look like? When you're working with a foster child, what does it kind of look like? What are you doing?
Basically, we train everyday concerned citizens, volunteers, to write court reports in the courtroom and go to court for the kids and stand up for their rights to ensure that all the services while they're living in foster care are in place so they can enjoy a quality of life that they deserve while they're living away from their family.
So it truly is kind of representing kids that really don't have representation themselves, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many people involved in their lives. They have caseworkers, they have appointed lawyers. Basically, a CASA volunteer is somebody that comes alongside them and remains the consistent adult while they're working to find that child a forever home.
So when you say everyday, folks that are working with CASA, so you don't have to have some kind of special training, to be a lawyer, doctor, Indian chief, no?
No special background. Really, you just have to have a caring heart. We provide at our office a 30-hour training class. And the way I like to put it, it's like a little condensed social work class, teaching them the things to look for while they're working the child's case.
Wow. So 30 hours of training. Okay, right. So let me play devil's advocate. 30 hours of training is pretty daunting, I think, for a volunteer. How do you split that up?
We do half of it online, so that's very helpful. We've actually recruited a lot more volunteers from the community. We have close to 70 volunteers right now advocating on behalf of 170 children.
Wow. So think about that. 70 folks have already kind of taken the plunge and done that 30 hours of training and are that kind of invested.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic. So, we've in recent weeks we've had caregiver volunteers of Central Jersey, which are volunteers helping the elderly.
Right.
We have had Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Right.
Which is helping one-on-one with kids that aren't foster kids but are in situations where they need a little additional support, mentoring, and this is really another form of that kind of one-on-one matchup. So 70. How many kids does the average volunteer kind of represent?
It's usually a family group, so it could be anywhere between 2 to 3 siblings, but we've had some cases that have 6 to 8 siblings. It just really depends on the family.
Wow.
So at least one child, and the volunteer visits a child once a month. They make sure that the child's educational and medical needs are being met, And basically, they're working with the child, speaking to the judge on the child's behalf, because the judge is trying to make difficult decisions. Sometimes one of our volunteers may end up advocating to have a foster family adopt a child. Last year, we celebrated 14 adoptions, which is great news. You know, caring families from Ocean County, adopting these kids and giving them a family.
Right.
Every child deserves to have a family.
No doubt about that. Is that how you kind of measure success at CASA, is how many of these kids are successfully kind of placed and put into better situations than they started with?
Absolutely. Research shows that a child in foster care with the CASA volunteer spends about 13 months on average less in foster care than a child without one. So there's almost over 500 children in Ocean County waiting for a CASA volunteer of their own. And really, I came on the show today hoping that we could recruit volunteers, because these kids should not be on a waiting list waiting for a family.
Right. Well, that's there's no doubt about that. And so what you're doing and what CASA is doing is unbelievable work. And it's not... I think your organization is more typical of the nonprofits that we see not only in Ocean County, but really across our country. Because when we talk about what kind of staff you have at CASA, what kind of team do you have working on this?
We have a very, very small team. Really, my team is the volunteers. We have a staff of 3 people. We manage on a bare bones operation. We are the epitome of a grassroots nonprofit, relying on the community coming into our office, helping us with the administrative work. And then I have a dozen board members that really donate a ton of time to the organization and push me along through the efforts.
Wow, that's awesome. So, Vicki, how did you get involved with CASA? I mean, what kind of brought you down this road?
Well, it's an amazing story. I mean, it really was an awakening in my life coming to know CASA. Formerly, before I started with them, I was a grant writer and professional fundraiser. And I stumbled across a posting for the job, and really it was the mission that attracted me to the job. I am a former foster child. I am a survivor of child abuse. When I saw the posting for the executive director's position, I went into the office. I learned more about the organization, and that was 5 years ago. I just celebrated 5 years in February. And the things that have happened to me there and leading this organization, even though it's probably the hardest work I've ever done in my life for not a very great income, I don't measure the income that way. I really don't. It's just been a wonderful experience for me.
So wait, are you telling me, Vicki, this may be a groundbreaking moment for us here at the Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin morning show. So you're telling me that people don't get into nonprofits to become rich?
Pretty much.
That's true?
Pretty much.
See, I guess I had a misconception there. I thought when folks are graduating from, those top Ivy League schools and deciding between working on Wall Street, somewhere that Bernie Sanders doesn't trust, but that Hillary Clinton supports and would speak for, they were deciding between those Wall Street firms and deciding between working at a nonprofit. I thought that was kind of just a coin flip for them, but you're saying it's not that way.
No, not quite.
So you do it because you believe in the cause, because you feel like you want to do the right thing for the kids.
Right.
And you want to make a difference in this world.
Absolutely. It's actually on my resume that, Ocean County, to me, I love this place that we live. I love Toms River. It's shocking to me that there's almost over 750 kids in foster care, and little by little and child by child, I just feel like my part does make a difference. Wow.
Well, it sure does, and I know that you're also a very devoted in your faith, which I'm sure helps get you through. Because there must be a lot of nights that you go home and you're like, oh my God, it's some of the things that you've seen or some of the things that you've experienced through CASA.
Absolutely. The things that these children go through. And I think you're familiar enough with your relationships in the community to know that Ocean County has a very serious drug and alcohol problem. I sit on the board of directors for several nonprofits that are assisting families and educating and rehabbing families that are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. And I could tell you that 100% of the kids that we're serving right now, all of their parents are struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. So it's a problem in our community that needs to be addressed, and a lot more people need to be aware of.
Right. Vicki Weiss, court-appointed special advocates, CASA of Ocean County, an organization I think most of you are not too familiar with. Vicki, when we get back, I want to ask you kind of what your aha moment was. What kind of made you say, I want to get into this world of nonprofits. I want to do this. I want to make a difference. Because, here at Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, we're all about getting up, getting out, and doing something. And you're certainly doing that every day. Back right after this.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin continues. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Ricky wants to know what's the
620. Yes, we're live, folks. 620, 39 degrees, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, News Talk Radio, and streaming live on the Radio Pup app and at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160. Yes, Ricky is the board president or former board president now for court-appointed special advocates. Is that right, Vicki?
Yes.
Former board president?
Yes.
Because we have a new board president, right?
Yes.
And Ricky wants to know what station we're on.
He wants to know what's the dial-in number he wants to call.
The dial-in number, Ricky, if you're listening, Ricky Moore, 732-505-1160. The 1160 because that's like where we are on the dial, 1160. See how we did that? Yeah. Anyway. So you were just telling me a story in the break, which I think is fascinating, and I think it kind of covers two very important points. One is around networking and the importance of it, and that goes for nonprofits, but also in the business world, and then also about your own personal mentoring. So could you kind of share with us that story that you just shared with me?
Sure. So at the end of the summer, you had invited us to a 51st award ceremony for the Chamber of Commerce, and it was at the Water's Edge at the late summer. And I've been really trying to build a stronger relationship with the Chamber of Commerce, with United Way, and with a lot of nonprofits here in Ocean County. It just goes down the board. So at this 51st ceremony, I met this lovely woman. She was sitting next to me. Her name is Jeannie Richards, and I was on her radio show last week. Just a wonderful person, her and her husband and her family and her children and her business. And so Jeannie, after this event, invites me to her home to learn more about CASA. And, she's just a very caring person, very concerned about our community, had an instant connection to the mission of the program. And she agreed to be my mentor, meet with me once a week. And she's come alongside of me. She's turning out to be a tremendous friend. And I think she's going to end up building my leadership skills and helping the organization.
So that is unbelievable that you kind of, and you kind of said, hey, listen, it's not about the money here. It's about my own personal development, because you understood that, you needed to kind of maybe sharpen some of your skills and become a more well-rounded leader. That is unbelievable. And then to find someone in the community who wants to do that, who wants to make that, look, it's really easy to write a check. Right. If you're in a position to, it's easy to write a check. It's hard to roll up your sleeves and get involved and really try to make a difference. And organizations like CASA need both, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to pay your bills, you got to pay your team, you got to pay, for all the overhead that you have, you got to pay to fundraise. But equally, if not more important, is those folks that are really, really dedicated to the cause and really wanting to make a difference. And by the way, Jeannie Richards, I think she has a morning show here on Saturdays, right?
Yes.
Look at that. So it's the WOBM Town Square family all pitching in. There was also a pitch there for the Toms River Chamber of Commerce. So you should join your local Chamber of Commerce, because you too can make connections. We have a phone call. Who do we have on the line?
We have Richard.
Richard, welcome to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin.
Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
I can speak for myself that I'm fantastic. Vicky, how are you?
I'm great. I made it here. I was not late. I was actually sitting in the parking lot texting Jeremy to let me in.
Yeah, not disconcerting at all, by the way, when you're on the radio and somebody's texting you and calling you. Hey, can you let me in, please? Anyway, what can we do for you this morning?
Well, I just wanted to call and say what a great and wonderful organization CASA of Ocean County is. I have the pleasure of sitting on their board of directors, and I'm actually the person who hired Vicky.
What? Well, so you're taking full credit for that, huh, Ricky?
Yeah, you know what? When somebody good comes along, yep, I think I will take credit. She has turned this organization around big time in the 5 years she's been with us. And I can't say enough that we would not be where we are now if it weren't for her.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And so, and Vicky was just telling me that, am I correct that 6 years for you as the chair of the board?
Yes, I've been there for 6 years. My tenure just ended as of February 1st of this year. But I'm planning on staying with the board of directors.
That is awesome. So again, we look at what it takes to make a successful organization, and certainly it takes successful professional leadership, but it also takes successful lay leadership. So great job, Ricky, and thank you for all you do for the community and for CASA.
Thank you, and thank you for all the support that we've gotten from the Grunin Foundation and from the chamber and the local businesses here in Ocean County.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a great day, Ricky.
You guys have a great one as well.
All right. Cool. So we have just a few seconds left. So, Vicky, I'm not letting you off the hook because we still got your aha moment coming up after the break. I'm excited for that. We also have, don't forget, your magic wand, right? So right. Vicky has her magic wand, and she can spread her pixie dust and change something in our community. What's that going to look like? Vicky Weiss, court-appointed special advocates here on WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Be back right after the news.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:34 here on, it's like February 8th. I just had to look at my watch for that because I had no clue what day we were on. February 8th, 6:34, 39 degrees, getting all the way up to 39 degrees today. It is going to be snowy, nasty, windy, wet. My recommendation is really there's three choices. Choice number one over the next few days is get out of town, go to Florida, go to California, Aruba. I like Aruba, Hawaii. So that's choice number one. Choice number two, is maybe just move altogether, right? Because I'm not telling you to move out of town because obviously we want to keep economic growth here. But the third choice is just, put on warm clothes, galoshes, boots. You could actually wear the scarf if you want to. Don't leave it behind, in the house or at a restaurant. Anyway, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, News Talk Radio. Also streaming live at WOBMAM.com and the Radio Pup app, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We have Vicky Weiss, court-appointed special advocates, CASA, in studio with us, celebrating 10 years of CASA. This year,
yes,
right?
Yes, and I've been there for half of it. So
half of it.
Pretty good. Yes.
Half of it. So that number, by the way, your percentage will only go up from here on out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. So if you're there for 6 years out of 11, that would be like 54%. And then 7 out of 12, I think that's like 60%. Anyway, it keeps moving up as you go. So we were talking about what your aha moment was. That was that moment when you decided that you, Vicky Weiss, were going to get into the world of nonprofits, forego the private sector, get out there and make a difference. Do you remember when that happened for you?
Wow.
No, listen to me, Vicky. You can't say no when with that kind of build-up. You're
yes.
like, no, I got nothing.
I thought you meant my aha moment since I've been at CASA. I didn't know that you meant my aha moment in my life, that I knew that I was going down the road of doing something great for others. But you'll never believe this. I was 7 years old when I figured out that I was put on this earth for something really incredible. And being a foster child and a child of child abuse, you grow up with these skills that are just amazing. You end up learning how to just survive in any condition. But either way, I found out when I was 7 years old. I am a gospel singer, and I was put in front of my church at 7 and told to sing a solo. And that's basically what I did. And ever since that time in my life, I've been doing that. And as an adult, I've been doing it and going around to different organizations. I sing at America's Keswick. I also sing with another choir, a very large professional choir, and we donate all the money to charities of choice. So besides working for CASA as an executive director, I am a singer, and I use that gift to raise money for other people. But being a performer also gives you a talent for connecting with people emotionally, and the energy that's inside of you. I'd say maybe like a light is something that people can understand. It attracts people to you because I think all of us are born with an instinct to want to care and give to other people.
Wow. So 7?
7 years old.
7?
I couldn't even really, read perfectly yet. And I remember the song that I sang, and it's almost like it was just ingrained in my mind. And I just sang it probably in front of 100 or so people as a little kid. And now I'm doing it sometimes for up to like 1,000, 1,500 people. It's really great.
I'll tell you what, at 7 years old, I'm pretty sure I was trying to still figure out how to use a magnifying glass to set an insect on fire. And unsuccessfully, by the way, which is why I never joined Boy Scouts, because I was just not skilled enough. But wow, you were super advanced then.
Well, and I see that gift in a lot of the children that we serve, because I'm here today not about me. I'm really here to be an advocate for the children that we serve. And these children have undergone so much already in their youth. All the children that we serve have backgrounds of domestic violence, backgrounds of poverty. And we're really here for them today, and trying to get the people in Ocean County that the organization needs to get the kids off the waiting list and to serve additional children.
That's awesome. So while you're on that topic, can you give us like a success story, a feel-good story about a child whose life you've witnessed a change in?
Absolutely. With the 178 kids that we're serving right now, it's hard for me to have a personal connection with every single child. I have my small hand full of children that have been with the organization for quite some time. I would say that the most important success story is from a little girl, and I'm going to change her name for the sake of her identity. Let's just call her Samantha. She came to the organization a few years ago because her parents were struggling with the drug and alcohol problem. And she was placed into foster care. Because this little girl was a teenager, she had seen so much abuse and so much neglect and trauma in her life that she had severe behavioral health problems. So in the 2 years that I knew her, she had been bounced around to 7 different foster homes. No child should have to move around from seven different homes. No sense of permanency. I had connected this child to a CASA volunteer, and we'll change her name too. We'll just call her Sally, and she ended up becoming this child's advocate. Over the past 2 years, their relationship became very strong. The woman had come to me, the lady who signed up to be the CASA volunteer, and she said, "Vicki, I just can't do this anymore." She looked me in the face and she said, "I have to leave this program." And I said, "You've got to be kidding me. Why? How could you do this to this kid? You know that she needs you right now." She said, "I'm leaving the program because I'm going to adopt this little girl." And to me, that is just the most rewarding story. The little girl came into my office, and she has bright red hair and just this huge, gigantic smile and a funny little lisp. And she says to me that I finally have my mom. I finally have my family, and you did this for me, and I just love you, and I thank you so much for it. And I just lost it. You know, that's probably the best story I could tell you.
My goodness. I don't even know where to go from there, because that is so impactful. I mean, that is by far that's what we all work for, right? I mean, that's what, we talk as a foundation. We talk about how we pay for a program and make it sustainable, meaning that the rest of the world sees how important it is, and the money just is there to support it. That's our kind of payoff for feeling great.
Absolutely.
For you. Having a child ultimately get adopted by, that's got to be the ultimate. That's got to make you go home and say, listen, you're making a difference, and you're doing something special for our community.
Absolutely. If your listeners were to go to our Facebook page at Ocean County CASA, we have a video that your family foundation was part to sponsor, and that'll really explain what we do for the children. It's on our news feed, and they should check that out.
That's
really
awesome.
Brings things full circle.
That's cool. So I got a question for you that we're going to get to after the break, which is, if you had your magic wand, your pixie dust, if you could just wiggle your nose and make something happen and change in our community to help impact your sector positively, what would that be? Can't wait to hear your answer. We'll hear that from Vicky Weiss of CASA after this.
The Sean Hannity Show, this afternoon at 3. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin returns next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Connect with Jeremy, 732-505-1160. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 646. Happy day after the Super Bowl. That is if you're a Bronco fan. 39 degrees, getting up to 39 degrees. It is going to be snowy, wet, nasty. Again, one of those options I should have mentioned is feel free to just curl up under the covers, go back to sleep. Although, please, actually don't go back to sleep until 8 o'clock, because you really need to listen to the last, hour and 14 minutes of the show here on WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio, and streaming live on the Radio Pup app at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. Vicky Weiss, court-appointed special advocates, CASA.
Yes.
CASA. Mi casa es su casa. So, Vicky, magic wand time, right? You can make a difference. What is it you're going to do?
Well, specific to CASA of Ocean County, I think if I could do anything for this organization to change it, is to just get the name out there, get the awareness out there of who we are and what we do. We just don't have a family household name yet. So I found that I've had to stand on top of the mountain and wave a red flag just to get the word out there on who we are. So that's what I would change is just in Ocean County, the awareness of who we are and what we do for abused children that are living in foster care in our community.
I'm going to have to. That's great.
Yes.
Well, so first of all, let me say that's great.
It's unacceptable.
It's not unacceptable. It's not unacceptable, but it's now that I've asked that question a number of times, the formula is clear. That everybody says awareness.
Right.
Right? Okay,
right.
So first of all, let me just tell everyone, it's really important that you're aware of what's going on in Ocean County. You need to learn about these fantastic organizations that we have that are making a difference, of which CASA is certainly one. Right? And I understand it's unfortunate because I think you said you want to scream from the mountain, right? It is very difficult to get that message out, especially in this unbelievably difficult to navigate media world that we live in, because nobody could figure out how to get in touch with people. So we all do Facebook.
Right.
We all do Twitter, Instagram, right? Like we're on LinkedIn.
Right.
Right. We try radio, we try newspaper. We do like directed internet advertising. We do smoke signal. There's like a bat signal. I think we have there's a Casa bat signal. You may not see it because it goes up in the middle of the night, right?
Well, everybody is busy, Jeremy, and you know they're all going about their lives and their family and their work, and volunteerism and giving back to your community has to be something that is just a part of your makeup. It's going to bring balance to your life. So, organizations like CASA, where people are going to donate their time, it's to something like giving a child a home. That's so incredible. How could you be involved in something more important than that?
I agree with you 100%. So, Vicki, if folks want to learn more about CASA, want to get involved, if they have been touched by you like I have been over the last few years, how would they go about learning more?
They could start by visiting our website at www.casaofoceancounty.org. Right there on our website, we have all the applications to be a volunteer. We have a class starting in April and one in June. We're preparing and recruiting volunteers for that now. If they're interested in serving on the board of directors, they can call me at my office, Vicki Weiss, at 732-797-0590. And, of course, get plugged in on social media, on our LinkedIn page, and on our Facebook page.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Vicki. That was, I know a lot about CASA, having worked with you guys for a few years now, but I learned stuff today. You have an incredible personal story. You share some incredible stories of kids that have been impacted, and you guys do great work here at the Jersey Shore. And all the best to you, and I'm pretty sure we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. All the listeners need to call in and vote for CASA for Jeremy's paycheck, please.
Oh, well, we're going to talk more about that. We'll talk more about that going forward. Be right back after this.
Thank you, Jeremy.